Hey, David here with Guide Recommended. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a fly rod. Literally taking reels, rods, line, all of it, brand new from the packaging, putting it on a fly rod and showing you how to set up your first fly rod reel combo setup. So we're going to dig into getting items from the Guide Recommended studio, aka my basement. But the cool thing is, I'm like really into fly fishing, so we can dig into getting stuff literally from the shelves of my basement inventory. So let's do it. All right, first up, fly line. So I think we're going to be building up. So I actually recommend getting, for the first rod, a 7 weight. So here we got a 7 weight line, some backing, piles of backing. Let me just grab one here. We got some 30-pound backing. All right, oh, down here. I recommend getting some kind of a little nipper. Let me see if I got one that is not in the bag. There we go. A little nipper with a nail nut tool. Nipper with a nail nut tool. See it there? All right, what's next? Let's put this on the table. Reels. I got all kinds of reels here. This guy's too small, too big. Oh, okay. Let's like a bunch of samples here. All right. Cool. We're doing a 6 weight rod. What is this? This reel is designed for a 5 to 7 weight. Okay, throw it on the table. What else? Let's keep going here. Oh, leaders. We're gonna need a leader. Perfect. 7.5 foot, 5X. I got some tippet. I actually put the tippet in there. All right, let's keep going. We need a fly rod. We got a bunch of them here. Let's go with this guy. All right, brand new, still in the box. So I think we've got everything. Let me lay it out there. Let me lay it out on the table and we can look at it. All right. We've got a reel. We've got some backing. That would be the next to go on. A fly line. We got a leader. We've got some tippet. We got a fly rod in the bag, and a little tool. I think you can get these for like $3-4 bucks. I'll put a link on the description below. Okay. Let me pause for a second, and we will dig into putting everything together. Hey, before we dig into the close-ups, I want you to Google Guide Recommended Fly Rod Setup. Google Guide Recommended Fly Rod Setup. I'm going to be doing a fly box giveaway. You saw all that stuff on my shelves. I actually sell fly boxes, so I've got the stuff to personalize a fly box. Just go to my website. There's an entry form about halfway down. Remember to subscribe. I'm going to try to be doing monthly giveaways. So June 30th, end of this month, I randomly pick a name out of the emails entered, and I send a fly box. Thanks. All right, so just to give a quick review. Plus, I got this cool whiteboard I took from my kids. Reel, fly rod. So we're going to be, I recommend a 4 to 6 weight, medium fast. That's combining the two together. Medium fast fly rod, usually 8.5 to 9 feet long. Onto the reel. First thing is backing, right, and then your fly line, leader, tippet, and fly. That's the basic setup for fly fishing. Again, backing goes on there, Okay, the reason for backing is kind of like some insurance, right? You pull out all your fly line. Usually a fly line's around 100 feet, basically 100 feet. Big fish to take that all the way out, right? So you can add, we're going to put about 50 yards of backing on. Attaches to the fly line, which you attach to a leader, a tapered leader. So this starts becoming the kind of the invisible thing for the fish. And then you add some tippet, and we'll talk about the links, and then a fly onto the end of the tippet. Now you can vary this a whole bunch of different ways, but let's dig into setting all of this up. Alright, brand new fly rod. Fly rods usually come in a tube. This is, well, we'll show you in the rod. Alright, pull it out. And then the rod itself is going to be typically in a sock. I'm not going to pull out all the sections, but this is a 4-piece 6-weight. So let me show you how you can identify that. Most every rod is going to have this type of designation. So if it can focus, you're going to see that says 9-foot LW length, weight 6, 4 sections. So again, 9-foot 6-weight rod. This is a medium fast. Like I said, brand new, still's got the plastic on it. To this we attach our reel. Alright, again, to try to get a balanced outfit, 6-weight rod, right? So this is a 5 to 7 weight reel. So always you put the, I see we got a little piece of rubber band on here. Take that off. Foot goes in. This is the reel foot into the receiver on the fly rod. Right in there, right? Fits in. And then there should be a similar thing on the other end. This would be like the moving, of course I forget when we were talking about, but the moving collar. Tighten it down, usually a locking, right? So you got one, tighten it, then tighten down the locking one. Alright. Alright, reel is on. Let's double check direction. This is important. So I am cast with the right, reel with the left. So I want drag, so the line's going to come off the bottom. Line comes off the bottom. I want the drag to come off the bottom. Important to check this right now, because you could set up the fly reel with the wrong direction, load all the line on, and it's all wrong. So let's tie on the backing. For tying on the backing, I like to, again, backing, so I got 30 pound, 100 yards. I'm going to put about, I'm just going to guess, but we're going to put about 50 yards, about half of the spool on here. So what I like to do, this reel, I like to pop the spool off actually. So different ways, a lot of them. This one, you flip this little lever, pop that spool off. We're going to just work with the spool for a second. Let's get our backing here. Lots of different knots you can use for backing. I like just using a simple, if you saw that, I double it over, a big loop, just in case I want to take it off, a big loop, and I put a double, what's called a double surgeon's knot. So that was once through, twice through. Why is it that big loop? Why is that big loop? I'll show you here in a second. So I wrap that around, right? And I pass my spool through that loop. Makes a quick little slip knot, right? Let's pull that down. We're going to trim off the tag end. So what's the tag? Tag end is that loose end that comes off. Got those nippers. First chance to use those nippers we talked about. Snip that guy off close. Right? Double surgeon's a nice tight knot, right? What this allows you to do is take it off pretty easy as well. All right. So let's go into the next step of this. Reattach. Right. We're on. Tighten that little loop. Alright, and start spooling it on. Alright, I'm going to pause while we put this on, okay? But right now, I'm literally just going to put, like I said, about half of this spool, okay? Alright, so we got our backing. Our backing is about on, right? So there's our end. Back to the fly line. So this is, again, I got a 6-weight rod. For beginners, until you learn, like I said, I recommend overlining to a 7-weight. So this is a weight forward, floating 7-weight line. Weight forward, floating. And you can see they got like what's called the taper profile and stuff on the package. So dig into this guy, and we'll tie this on. Ooh. Dig into this guy. Something I wanted to show you on this. Most fly lines are going to have this little label. They better have this because it can make it hard. This end to reel, this end to reel. So that tells you which end of the fly line goes to the reel first. So you can see the ends right there. Right, so we're going to tie this guy on using what's called a nail knot. Again, that little handy dandy nail knot nipper tool. Love this thing. In fact, that little point can clean out the eyes on a fly line. So about 10 inches of line, you lay it into that fork, lay it into the fork, wrap it around about 5 times. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm going to go on here. Then you got your end. Stick it through that opening, right? And then from there, you take your fly line, and you poke it into the end. I like to gently hold that with my thumb. All right, so this is the tag end, right? Quickly pull it off, and that's what forms a nail knot. Let me see if I can draw that up nice and tight. The cool thing about nail knots, they tighten down more the more you pull on them. So a nice smooth knot grabs onto the fly line and kind of actually cinches down. So let's get our other tag line. That's this one. Right, tag line. Clip that off. Going to reel this on. So this hand here, I'm actually kind of rotating back and forth with the idea to get the fly line on relatively smooth on that reel. So again, I'll kind of back and forth just a little bit. I put a little bit of pressure on there in order to kind of keep it nice and flat. You don't want any loose loops and stuff on there. We're going to pause for a minute and I will button this up. Alright, so something that you want to watch, hoping you can see this. Let me get something with a white background. Can you see the little daylight right here? That tells you that you got about the right amount of fly line backing on there. So you don't want the fly line to touch the housing of the reel. Excessive wear. So again, you can see that little bit of daylight. So got this filled up about right. So this line, this fly line, actually comes with a little loop on it, right? So loop to loop connection. So we get our leader. Our leader is next. Get this opened up. Little trick to unwinding leaders. The butt section, heavy line is what comes off. So 3 or 4 fingers in there. Wrap it around. See how I got a little bit of pressure right here? That stops it from like becoming this big old mess. So it's usually wrapped about 4 or 5 times. And you just kind of take that and you pull it, push it down, grab it on the back side. And then once you get to like where it comes off, nice and smooth, right? So loop to loop connection. Fastest one, there's a couple different loops you can tie on, but we're going to just do a double surgeons knot again. So doubled over line, right? I got a loop here in the end, right? About 4 inches there. Make a loop. We're going to pull our loop through twice. Once, twice. Okay. Got that through. Ooh, pop that through, sorry. Twice. The butt section's kind of stiff. Alright. Now you pull that down. You pull it down so you got a nice little loop there, right? Before you tighten this guy up, wet it. Now I like to pull it with that little nail knot tool we were talking about earlier. Keep the rounded edge, put it on there. Pull it down tight. So that's what it would look like. So we got a loop now on the bottom or the top of our leader on the heavy end. We got our nippers again. That's why these things are like invaluable. Trim it close. All right, so we got loop on the end. What to do next? All right, pass your fly line through, right? And then put your leader through that. Pull that fine line through, and that will snug up to a nice little loop-to-loop connection, that's called, right? All right, so let's get to the other end of this leader, and we will tie on some tippet. Again, that double surgeons. Just a habit, I put the line in my mouth, so. Alright, so we got some 5X, so that was a 5X leader, so we got some 5X tippet. We're going to pull off about 18 inches. Kind of a neat thing with these scientific angler tippet, actually comes with an integrated cutter. Kind of a cool thing. Alright, so we got our tippet. We've got our fly line. Tough to see, I know. I'm sorry. So we double them over about 4 inches, 4 to 5. Right, so I got double lines there. Get that out of the way so we can focus. Double lines. Again, loop it over. All right, so I got a loop. Pull that through. Pull it through again. Trying to do this slowly so you can see it. Alright, so I got that doubled through. Now, wet. Tighten it up. Alright. Maybe you can see those 2 tag ends. We're going to trim those tags off again with our little nippers. There's one of them. You can actually leave a little bit of these on. It hasn't seemed to bug the fish much. All right. So at this point, the reel is loaded up with fly line, backing and fly line. We've got a leader onto the fly line, and then onto the leader we have our tippet. Where are we at here? So there's our tippet knot, right? All right, and then we would put a fly on here. So we're going to pause for a second. I'm going to readjust the camera. We will string up this rod. I'll show you how it balances, and then we'll tie on a fly, okay? Well, let's put together the first section of this guy, right? Just so you got a feel for what's going on. Plus, I want to point out something. So I got my rod sock. We're going to pull out the sections. Alright, so next one to go on is this. So let me see if I can get this in front of the camera so you can see the close-up. Alright, so this is our male end, female end. Right? The key, putting these guys together, is to give it a little half twist, right? So you can put it on and then twist it in as you push the rod blank on. So let me repeat. I've even put a little bit of wax, candle wax on there. So you put it on, right, and then you twist it into place. Now that is in alignment with my reel. So, all right, let me string this guy up. All right, so let's keep stringing this up. So we put that first section on already. Important, let's get this tangles out. Important to, got a big old mess going on here, you guys, I'm sorry. Have the eyes in alignment with the reel. So the reel hangs below. So let's go to the next section. Again, put it on. About a quarter turn to move it into place. Last section. Quarter turn and pull it into place. You've probably seen folks do this, but pull off some line, right? Double that over the fly line. What this does is if you drop it accidentally, usually the fly line won't, I'm going to call it unzip. So doubled over. I'm trying to do this with my left hand, folks, and I'm not as coordinated. So let's put this back. All right. Again, got it dropped, kind of folded over. Don't miss these eyes. You can break a rod if you keep fishing it with the line not through all of the eyes. Watch that you don't spin the line through. So I wanted to show you what. So if you drop it, right, a lot of times it will just stay where it's at. That's why you double it up. So got it through the end. All right, let's dig into some close-ups again, and we'll tie our fly on, okay? All right, so we've got our fly rod. The line is fly line coming out of the end. It's time to put a fly on, you guys. Excited. So. All right, so maybe you can see it or not. Our tippet. All right, we get to the bottom of that, and then let's grab a fly. We're going to put a little dry fly on. A beat up old fly box that I love. I'm going to put in a scopper. A little bit bigger. be able to see this guy a little bit more. So it's a hopper. It's a just a good all-around kind of a tractor pattern. So let's get some rubber legs on there, a hopper, and yeah, just a good fly. All right, so let's get that in again. All right, just a quick clinch knot. Put the fly through, pull it through, right? About 4 inches. All right. The finer the line, the more wraps. So we're on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put that guy back through that base knot. Again, a clinch knot. I got some other videos on this. Right. Wet. Pull that down tight. Hopefully you can see that on there. Nice, good, strong knot, that clinch knot. Some folks will use a improved clinch. I've always used the clinch knot, so trim off that tag. So that's it. We got a fly. We got tippet. We got a leader. We got a fly line, and then we got backing. Quick recap, right? Fly. Tippet, we had about 18 inches of 5X tippet. All right, let's do that. 18 inches, 5X. For the leader, I used a 7.5 foot, 5X. For the fly line, because it was a 6 weight line, or rod, right? I actually upped this to a 7 weight forward fly line, and then onto some backing. Now you can use either 20 or 30 pound backing, but we put about 50 yards on there. So that is setting up a fly rod. Hey, and don't forget to subscribe and go to my fly rod setup, guide recommended fly rod setup, and I'm giving away a fly box just like this guy right here, but I will put your name on this guy. Thanks.